In the midst of a seemingly endless conflict, one small village has become a beacon of hope. An oasis of peace, where Jews and Palestinians choose to live together.
This is a very strong one that we need to, it's a shelter that we have to build it in the home by the law, because we need to sit in if there is alarm or a war.
It's hard to explain what you feel. It's not as even as a human being when you live and you see all the people who died.
This is the war, actually. The war is sitting here, 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 everywhere, even in my house.
It's quiet now in Israel, but the question is, for how long? Last summer, the region erupted in violence again. As bombs killed civilians and destroyed homes in the Gaza Strip, the world held its breath.
I almost want to hate the Jews for doing this to us, and then you feel bad that you're living in a place so quiet, so peaceful, and where everything around you is not right.
Less than an hour's drive from the Gaza Strip, there's a small village giving hope to the region. Neve Shalom, or What-al-Salam, Oasis of Peace in Hebrew and Arabic. Home to more than 300 Arab and Jewish Israelis living together in peace. A utopia in the midst of a perpetual conflict.
We really live in peace together. And it's not just a peace where one tells the other how to live in peace, but it's really the only place in the Middle East where people come in order to live together because they want that. We live the model where we share the land, the power, and the everyday life and the administration. And this is our message.
Now we have a Jewish holiday, which is Sukkot and Passover. This is first grade now.
The Feast of the Sacrifice, or Eid al-Adha for the Muslims, and the Jewish Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, are both on the same day this year. This combined class of Jewish and Arabic children are learning about the two religious holidays.
سكوت شو بيبنوا بعيد العرش؟ شو بيبنوا؟ عريشة شو ما بنيم بسكوت.
Teacher Reem Nashef has lived in this village for 14 years and teaches biology at this mixed primary school. Many of the students are from nearby villages and travel here especially to study.
I'll show you the arts room. Mary is an Arabic teacher. She teaches arts in both languages. صباحي مرحبا صف ثالث. Shalom kita gimel. We had a very hard summer this summer, and we were very tense as teachers how we're going to open this year after the Gaza war. And we were wondering, what should we tell the children? Because you build peace, and then something like that comes and smashes it to the ground. And when we came at the beginning of the year, we saw that after all, their children, and they only think about playing together, being together, and they still vision the peace that the older people think that maybe it's impossible, but they think it's still possible. And that's what we want to put in them as the growing seeds of this state.
The school is unique in Israel. Jewish and Arab students in one classroom, learning Hebrew and Arabic, playing together and discovering each other's culture. Arabic Nadine and Jewish Tali grew up together as classmates and neighbors. They remain best friends.
Since when are you friends, and how come?
Since the 4th grade, right?
Yes, pretty much since I moved here.
Right.
Because she lived across the street from me, and I think that's how we met. Our parents introduced us to each other, and it was just like ever since then.
Yeah, we were neighbors and went to sleep over at each other's house. And Nadine didn't know Hebrew yet, so we were talking in I don't know how we talked because my Arabic was
Nadine and Tali attended Jewish high school outside the village together. That's where they were first confronted with the divide in Israel.
I think that the difference between being an Arab and a Jew, especially if you're in a place like a Jewish school, is that I'm always seen as a representative of the Palestinians, of the Arab sector. That's what we're called here. We're called a sector. We're not called a society or people or nation. So it's constantly, Nadine, you're the representative here or something like that. And Tali, it's just, another part of society, another individual in society, part of the Israeli society.
Mm-hmm. It was mainly different for the kids who were already at the school to meet, Arab children their age for the first time, and to see that we talk in Arabic sometimes. I understand everything she says and that we grew up together. It was different mainly for them to understand that this is our reality, because for them it's the first encounter, it's the first time so it was to teach them that this is how we live and this is normal for us.
It all began on a bare hilltop in 1977. Priest Bruno Hussar and a group of students came together and founded their Oasis of Peace. 36 years on, their dream has become a real village. The waiting list for Neve Shalom What-al-Salam is long. In the near future, 90 new families are joining the community. But it's taken years for the government to give permission for this expansion.
كملوا هذا اللي فوق اللي كان عم بيعملوا أبو أشرف كملوا.
Raja and Khalil Danaf are watching as their new home is finally built.
قبل 5 سنوات تقريبا كنا مقررين انه نسيب البلد هاي، نسيب اسرائيل، لانه رجاء من الاصل من سوريا، فلسطينيه الاصل من سوريا. الحكومه الاسرائيليه هنا والدوله غلبتنا كثير قبل ما اخذت الهويه رجاء.
At the last minute we come here and see this village and we think maybe it's a good place to be in, and for me actually I felt that I can be here with good people who accept me.
Raja, Khalil and their family have been trying to become members of the village for 5 years, going through a string of selection processes.
خلاص؟ هسه بقوم ان شاء الله. والله. هلا هذه بدك ترجع تعيد عليها لانه انت عملتها قبل.
وين الجوار؟ بس الجوار.
New residents have to be certain they can be happy in the community.
And what do you think for you is going to be the biggest challenge?
To be myself, to be a Palestinian woman, to talk about my narrative, about my sorrow, about my history, without feeling guilty, without giving the Jewish or my neighbor to feel guilty, or the people who are listening to me.
The villagers of Neve Shalom What-al-Salam want their ideas to spread well beyond the village. With that in mind, the School for Peace has organised workshops for 35 years, bringing Jews and Palestinians together in dialogue.
The issue is to humanize the other side, because there is a lot of process of dehumanization of the other side. We would like then our Palestinian guests to share with us the strategy that is in Palestine to end the occupation.
Nava Sonnesnschein organises workshops for a new generation of lawyers and politicians, hoping they will be able to bring Israel future peace. She also tries to positively influence project developers.
They hear lectures about how their profession is connected to the conflict. And then they have to initiate projects, joint projects or individual projects, in which they, after they have their inner change, they can influence their environment or the committees in which they sit, or
And what do you hope they change?
the status quo about land policy in Israel. The land policy is very discriminative, and we want them to work so it will be more equal.
So this is the renting house.
Yeah. And we will move. We actually here from 4 years, and we will move to the new.
For Palestinian refugee Raja, this village is the only place in Israel she could live. But for her, perhaps the most difficult thing was telling her father.
Okay. Baba, I'm going to live in a village for Jewish and Palestinian. And he looked at me like, and I said, oh my God, he will. And I told him that it's very important for me to live with people with my values, at least. I don't care if they are Jewish or black or white, I need it here. Especially in Israel, I need it. And he said, he looked at me like this and said, I'm proud of you.
So is this village a real utopia? Many of the residents don't think so. The community is home to frequent discussion and disagreement.
It's very rare to find people who agree on things in this village. I think that's something people don't understand, that it's not just one homogenic community. There's such a wide range of thoughts and ideas and beliefs here.
Well, a big issue in Neve Shalom What-al-Salam is the army. The youth that grow up have to, like the Jewish, have to go to the army. But I think for us, we also got through it. Like we talked about it. Some of us were 8 at the same age. Some of us went to the army. Some didn't go.
What about you?
I did. I went to the Home Front Command. I tried not to go to the army. It's a really big conflict because you grow up thinking that peace is the only way. Military is not something that you grow up thinking you'll be, and everybody grows up in Israel when you're a child. They say when you grow up they won't be an army and necessary anymore, and it's a really big thing you have to go through here.
What was your most important question to her when she went to the army?
I think it's a very big contradiction to go to the army after you've grown up in this village. Both because it's very militaristic, it's violent, it's a violent organization, and it's occupying our people. So that's our our question. How is that possible? How do you live with this contradiction? And there are many different answers to that.
And what's your answer?
I thought that it was important, if I already am and I have to go, to speak my mind and to say everything that I believe, even though I'm in that organization, and I know that my friends know that I'm the same person, I have the same beliefs, and it doesn't change who I am.
What we got from growing up here is not just to close up and live our own utopian lives. It's you realize that you're connected to society through your experience here, and you realize that you need to take it outside, and that maybe, or you hope that it can affect what's going on outside. So it's like a responsibility to try, at least.
Tonight, the Sonnesnschein family is enjoying a feast. Tomorrow is the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, a major Jewish holiday with 24 hours of fasting, no driving permitted, and all public amenities closed.
It's difficult, and of course most of the Jews just think about themselves. They don't think about how the Muslims are limited because this is a Jewish state and the main feast is the Jewish one, not the Muslim one.
In the late 70s, Tali's parents arrived in Neve Shalom, What-al-Salam with big ideals. Their friends and family did not respond with enthusiasm.
Originally, they thought we were lunatics and naive, and that it won't exist more than a few months.
We went to live with Arabs. That was really beyond their imagination. Also some friends and family, but we got other friends.
You have 3 children and they all grew up here, right? In a village?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what did you want to give them with that?
Different growing up. That Arabs are not their enemies. That's it. Basically, that's it.
But you can imagine the struggle of your own daughter having a Palestinian best friend and going in the army and all it's all contrary to each other, right? It feels...
Well, that's part of Neve Shalom. That's part of living together. It's not that we will all think alike. It's not that we are all the same. We are different, and the issue is how to coexist in spite of the differences.
So it's not a utopia you live in here?
No, not at all. וגם לגבי נווה שלום עצמה, השאלה אם נווה שלום צריכה לדאוג רק לקהילה ולרווחה של הקהילה, או שהיא צריכה להיות מעורבת, לפעול, ליזום ולנסות לשנות, אפילו אם יודעים מראש שאין לזה הרבה סיכויים, לשנות את המצב. אולי יש מישהו שרוצה להגיד משהו, אני הקשבתי באמת כל מילה.